So, Ms. Chen, the aim of terrorists is to go us that short line. Insurgent. Caucasus. Okay, continue. Assassinating. Mukin,
Director of the Independent Center for Political Information in Moscow. Moscow bombings can be read. Clear message to security services, which is stop killing our leaders, or we will take targets like the Moscow Marathon.
Okay, so the Kremlin. Okay, Kremlin is Moscow. Basically the presidential palace. So, fear that launching a new crackdown. What do you mean by crackdown? Crackdown, we do that. Like in Taiwan, every time before New Year, Chinese New Year, we might have something. We try to sweep the rascals, so squeeze the gangsters out of our society. We use crackdown. 肃清, okay, or打压肃清, right? Just crackdown. Just make sure they disappear. So that's what we call crackdown. The insurgent groups in North Caucasus. But the more you do that, you bring fresh terrorist assault against Moscow. So the word for this we will find this word a lot. We call the more you try to suppress activities from the terrorists, the more they're going to show their resistance. We call this kind of defying, or they are very much defiant. 抗拒，中文怎么翻译 ？defiant， 抗拒藐视，还有什么？挑战。Okay, so that's defiant. I don't know whether you have showed that look to your parents. When you did something, your parents thought it was wrong, and they slapped you, and you gave them that look. Your parents said, 居然还敢这样看我 That's defiant. Okay, that's what the word defiant. Okay, so show you that 不什么，这个叫什么？中文什么？不在乎，有点那种，还是有点挑衅的。I still remember some of my classmates, right? Just look at the teachers, like, so what? Okay, you hit me, Okay, that's what we call defiant. So the terrorist is almost like that. You assault us, we will, attack Moscow, right? And special services, very successful in assassinating chief of terrorist groups in North Caucasus. So, Ms. Chen, since you're a Chinese major, can you tell me something in Chinese history, some of the famous assassination? Famous assassination in Chinese history, or attempted one. Oh, Chinese, we're such mild people. We don't assassinate. We don't assassinate people, right? Okay, the most famous assassination is what right now in in history? People will 荆轲还是荆轲？科
我记得念科吧。
科还是科 ？You sure? Try. 你们打了吗？打了字了吗？是科吗？
多少人在讲？
科 Okay. So that's the famous one. But also there's one also happened at the same period. Which one? Someone put a knife in a fish. This is not hidden in the map, in the atlas. 荆轲是什么？图穷匕见。对不起，鱼不会穷，鱼要吃完才看得到。Okay. Do you know this one? Anyone? Ever heard of this one? Hiding the knife? 叫做专猪刺王僚。专业的猪 ，professional pig. No. Okay, so those are the two. How about modern time in China? That's modern time Taiwan. Okay. How about China, 20th century? Okay. Do you remember this guy called Wang Jingwei? Ooh. Wang Jingwei tried to assassinate Cixi. Hey, why was he arrested? 你们没听过汪精卫的故事 You only heard of the bad thing. Oh, he was a patriot before. Okay? And he was arrested, but he was so good looking. Cixi said, oh, I cannot kill such a handsome guy. Okay, check the story of Wang Jingwei. 叫什么尹哥什么富白头什么记不得了。Okay, there's a point about 不负伤. Yeah, that's what he did. So you check that story. Okay, so there are a lot of assassination as well. Sun Yat-sen's revolutionary forces, they love to assassinate as well, right? Some of the Qing official. So assassination used to be. What's the most famous one in the American history? Two? Kennedy, Lincoln. I think also Martin Luther King as well, right? Being assassinated as well. So there are a lot of assassination. Very powerful. So here, Moscow assassinated the chief terrorist, the chief of the terrorist group. So they will, we call reprise. Reprise or respond, 报复, reprise. By bombing Moscow. Okay? Innocent people. Okay. So Ms. Chen, do you have any other classmate of you show up? No? Oh, okay. 你是哪一位? Zhang Lixing. Okay, next one. So 40% of the Chinese departments are represented here. Some experts. Okay, continue. Medvedev. Medvedev. Okay, here, going back to the short paragraph, whatever they decide, the leader, they need to accept that the option of using force alone to stem a rising insurgency has not worked. To put down the insurgency doesn't work. You cannot just use force. Okay? 以暴制暴 is not going to work. You have to have other options, or together with other options. So here, the aim of the terrorists goad us. What do you mean by GOAD, Ms. Zhang? Is to what? To kind of like force you, kick you, and so you will respond. 中文应该是怎么翻译？我也不会啊。是去，不是什么？不是刑求啦，就是刺激你去做什么事。OK。鞭策，鞭策好难听啊。激怒。OK。Into cracking down, and changing our political system. What does that mean? Changing your political system? The terrorist. Very much like the United States. People said, because you worry about the terrorist attack, what do? The American began to discriminate. We call ethnic profiling. ETHNIC, ethnic profiling. What do we mean by this ethnic profiling? In the past, we have this, right? In America, American law enforcement officers saying if someone drives a good car and he's a black, the car must be stolen or he must be a drug dealer, right? So-called driving while black. Okay, and later, after the September 1, we call flying first class while being an Arab, you must be a terrorist. Right? Like in Taiwan. Nowadays, what happened in Russia? If you happen to be a Muslim young woman, you must be the Black Widow. Right? So what do? You begin to search people, you begin to put out a lot of surveillance, and you are changing the political system. You're making people more inconvenient, you make people more suspicious of one another, then the terrorists achieve their purpose. So that's why he says here, changing our political system because we fear the threat. Okay, Taiwan, we don't do that, right? It's very relaxed here. But when you go to some other countries, when you have the terrorist threat, you worry. Okay? Now, ethnic profiling, that's also bad because it will, we call stereotype, okay? Making any kind of ethnic groups, okay? Because I attend a conference in the United States. An American white police officer said, if there are two suspects, I have to chase. One is a red-haired people of my age, look like from Northern Europe, like from Denmark or Norway, right? Another one is someone 25 years old, a Middle Eastern Arab. Which one should I choose to chase? Of course, I would chase the Arab one, right, instead of the Scandinavian guy. That's what they call ethnic profiling. But if you have this idea all the time, then you will have trouble. So this is how you change the American political system. You make people more suspicious of one another. Another example. Okay. First class, an American woman just tell the pilot, saying there are some Arabs there. He said, those brown people make me nervous. Okay? Those brown people, 棕色皮肤, make me nervous because you worry about them being terrorists, right? So that's how you change the political system. You fear the threat, okay? And then the people are saying, wow, the system basically is not democratic, it's not free anymore. Then you will have less, we call allegiance. 对这个效忠啊。Okay, so that's a very important idea. So here, Mr. Nisin at the Institute of International Studies said, it would be very good if the president, Medvedev, gave a strong statement that despite everything, sorrow, and your determination to fight, that we will not sacrifice democracy. Okay? Because it's easier to sacrifice democracy in a time like this. Say, oh, we don't need this democracy. Or maybe everyone, should be examined first before entering a metro station. So that would be bad. And this democracy is the one they have been building. Their standard of civilized conduct means you trust one another in the cause of fighting terror, but not suspecting each other. Okay, any question? Now, this past week, we also have two events, right? One in Thailand, one in Kyrgyzstan. So when I return your homework on Niger, do you think the Niger military coup was actually a better option than what happened in Kyrgyzstan? Right? Kyrgyzstan, the president corrupt, and then people protested, and then you have confrontation. How many people died? About 80. How many people died in Niger? None. Which one is better? Coup. No, I'm not sure. I'm just saying, okay. Thailand, okay, you have people who are very much against the Russian army, very much against the parliamentary system, the government. And when they protest, how many people die in Thailand? 21, including 4 police officers and 17 people. Okay, so which one is better to protest? Remember, we all, some of you said, we have the rights to protest and being shot. Okay, so think about this. I'm just happen that there are two, events right now, make you think maybe a few military officers removed the corrupt president is not a bad thing. Yes?
In Thailand, the protest is caused by the Niger, the coup.
The coup.
The ex-president was the...
Okay, the coup, but they had an election. Well, I don't think it's it's protest against the coup. It's after the election, the electoral commission said, oh, the ruling party, they violated certain electoral law. So they removed that party's prime minister, and then they gave the power to the opposition, a coalition, right? And they need to have election. Now, okay, still, my question is, should we have another military coup so they can have election in Thailand, or should we protest? Thai people usually don't have that kind of violence, but this time, first time in 20 years, you have, 21 people killed. So is that better than a coup? Protest? What about Kyrgyzstan? 吉尔吉斯 right? And the president also came to power, strangely. I was reading something of the three kingdoms of romance the other day. 三国演义 okay? When Wei was dethroned by Jing, what happened? What did they do? How did Wei, Cao Pi, dethrone Han Xiandi? Anyone? 逼退 okay, that's good. 逼宫 okay, 退 no, but also have what? 受禅有没有听过？禅让，受什么？这是念什么？这样子，受禅。Saying they put up an altar, you know, the besieged emperor said, oh, you know, I'm not very good. So here there is an able person, you know, the power is, you know, really, you know, God wants him to be the new ruler. Okay, so that's what happened, right? So Cao Cao's, I don't know, grandson or, you know, great grandson was forced to turn power to the Jing dynasty, but they did it to the Han dynasty as well. So 我篡人，人亦篡我。Okay, I think that's the big problem for all the Niger discussion is 我政变人，人亦政变我， right? Something like this. Okay, if I use military coup to get rid of someone, there will be another military coup to overthrow me as well. Okay, so this is what we have, the vicious cycle, right? But some of you compare to China. First of all, China dynastic change. 什么叫做朝代更替的？ Few of them are military coup. A lot of them are not. Okay, and hey, China's dynastic change sometimes like 200 some years, right? So I'm not sure it's good to compare with military coup for a few years. Okay, once you have a dynastic change in China, like Ming Dynasty, how many years? From 1367, 1368 to 1644, people would say 277 years. 哎，是不是200？明朝277年，清朝呢？1644 to 19，啊，367年，啊，367年。Okay, something. Okay, so 200, 300, Tang Dynasty, 290 something. So they are all 200, 300. So I'm not sure that's correct. But I'm just asking you to rethink about those military coup. Okay? Sometimes it's pretty minimized. 你看那个陈桥兵变 of Song Dynasty, the emperor just forced out. But if you fight a war, more people are going to get killed. Okay, which does not mean your professors support military coup. But I would love to have military coup. Why? Because I study military coup. If they don't, then I have nothing to study. So I encourage military coup. Okay? Okay, let's look at the other one. Moscow attack, a task for Putin and his record against terror. 黄义贤有在吗？有没有在？ Okay, please raise your hand. Okay, your professor is kind of old now. Okay, continue. Chechnya. Okay, here, the brazen suicide bombing. Now, what do we mean here? Brazen. Mr. Huang?什么? But what does that mean? Burning, okay, kind of like burning because, so suicide bombing in the center of Moscow confronted Prime Minister. Grave challenge. What do you mean by grave? 坟墓。Gravely means big, important, okay. Now, I'll give you a joke here. One time, people said, what's the similarity between a university president and a graveyard worker? What's the similarity? 看坟墓的跟校长有什么类似之处？ What's the similarity between the two? They both have a lot of people under them, but nobody is listening to him. Okay? Maybe a class in Tsinghua. What's the similarity between Professor Yan and a graveyard watch? Okay, a lot of students, underneath, and nobody is listening. Okay, but this is grave is different grave. Okay, this grave is big, important challenge or difficult as well. Sometimes grave to his record of curbing. Okay, curbing terrorism, curbing. Oh, another thing we like to curb. What is the other thing we like to curb? In the economy, Mr. Huang, what do you curb in the economy? Curbing means, putting down, curbing terrorism, controlling terrorism. What things in our economy we want to control? Economic growth. No. That's a good thing, right? Economic growth is a good thing. 经济成长. Do you want to, usually curbing what? Inflation. Okay, remember those words. If you read a lot of, English articles, you will know those two go together. Curbing inflation. Okay, so curbing terrorism, curbing inflation. And raise the possibility that he will respond, as in the past, tightly control over the government. How many of you have seen Putin's footage of him doing wrestling? I think he's very much in shape. Okay, not like your professor, very similar age. Okay, I think he's very much in shape. So this guy is a tough guy. Okay, so that's his style. And explosion set off by female bombers. Landmark. Okay, Mr. Huang, give me a landmark in Tsinghua University. What is your landmark here in this university? 什么？人社院的钟楼已经算了吗？有历史吗？对，但是还是有一点点 some history 人社院这个有吗？还是你们那个人工湖很多人在那里死掉的？对啊。没有人死掉吗？有啊。Okay. Okay, what would be a landmark now? Now in Taipei? 101. What else? Unfortunately, a landmark in Taipei is Chiang Kai-shek Memorial as well. Okay, you don't think so, but it is. Okay, what else? How about 新竹城隍庙？火车站，新竹火车站算。But you know, is it so special? No, I think it's 内湾比较 special 吧 right? Okay. What else? Something in Zhanghua, what would be the landmark? The big Buddha, right? The big Buddha. Okay, so you know landmark. But Moscow, why Moscow metro station is a landmark? 为什么地铁是 landmark? Now, which station in Taiwan is a landmark? 刚刚说新竹，我觉得不是了。台北车站是 landmark? I'm sorry, I mean, it doesn't have a lot of history. 高雄美丽岛站 Okay, that's a landmark. Do we have anything there? Xu Xinliang would be speaking there. I mean, here, okay, if you watch the Moscow subway, they have a lot of artwork. Okay, so that's the reason it is landmarked. It's almost like if we have Taipei, the museum, as a station, that will be a landmark. Why don't we change our National Palace Museum into a subway station as well? 我们故宫博物院要不要也有地铁？进去就可以看。So that's okay. I think that's what we call landmark subway station. Okay, any other station in Taiwan that is a landmark? I don't think we have a sense of history or no. Cannot think about anything. Kill at least 38 people. Score. Okay, what do you mean by score? Wounded scores of others. Scores, how many? 10? 20? Okay, 20, about 20. Okay. Touching off, okay, means starting off fear that Muslim insurgency in Russia, including Chechnya, once again being brought to the country's heart. So people begin to get scared, okay. 灵异
Attacks during the morning rush hour seemed all designed to halt the security forces, which have been championed by Mr. Putin in the Beijing Pizza Tower in Russia. The first one occurred at the
Lubyanka.
Lubyanka subway station, next to the headquarters of the Federal Security Service, also known as the FSB, the successor agency to the Soviet-era KGB that was led by Mr. Putin in the late 1990s.
Okay, here, designed to taunt. What do you mean by to taunt someone? That's why we call taunt. Okay, or someone. The best taunt is fat boy wrong, fat boy wrong. Have you seen that movie? It's an English policeman who is a little bit too fat, but he wants to win back his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend. He joined the marathon. 没看过一个 Fat boy wrong, fat boy wrong. 他有点 overweight policeman, right? So people who steal say, "Hey, I'm here," and run, and then he just tried to chase. Couldn't catch up with the thief. Okay, so that's what we call taunt, challenging someone defiantly. That's so here is almost like taunting the security services. One of the famous taunt is one U.S. presidential candidate in the 1980s. Okay, in 1984, I think he would, or 88, he was running for president, and people said, "Hey, you have an extramarital affair. You're not very faithful to your wife." He said, "I have nothing to hide. You can tail me." 你会跟踪 And they found, okay, they found, he was with his girlfriend in a yard. That yard's name is called Monkey Business. 很好玩吧？他就在一个游艇上面跟他的女朋友，这个游艇的名字叫 Monkey Business 被抓到。Okay, so that's taunting. It's almost like saying, "Hey, I have nothing to hide. You can check. You can tail me. Put a tail on me. Put a surveillance on me. Right? That's taunt. Okay. So taunt the security forces, which have been championed by Putin in the decade since he took power. Putin is, basically tough guy using the security forces, but you challenge him in this rush hour. Okay. Now rush hour, Miss Lin. Usually what time we call rush hour? In the morning?
Morning. About 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock.
No, usually 7 to 9. People still say 7 to 9. In the afternoon? 5 to 7. Okay, so those are we call rush hours. 7 to 9. In Taipei, you also have, like switch lane. Going to work, you have an extra lane. Going to work, and then in the afternoon, they also gave you an extra. I don't think in the afternoon, but in the morning, 台北有一个多一条叫什么？中文叫什么？调拨车道。Okay, so suddenly you have street. I remember, people like, 8:55. They go to the other one. Coming, the car coming like 中山 North Road, 中山北路 from 天母 going to the town, right? You have one extra lane, right? You think by 8:55, 8:56, probably people, and if you are using the, the new lane, do you worry, this is 8:55, 8:56, when another car appear, on this direction, so, very difficult. Scared, but this is rush hour. 5 to 7 in the afternoon, 7 to 9 in the morning. So the first one occurred at the Lubyanka subway station, very close to the headquarters of Federal Security Services, also known as FSB, successor agency of KGB. That's a challenge. It's almost like 在什么？中文怎么讲？在太岁爷上动土。Okay, so that's basically. So Putin, symbol of KGB, and Putin became prime minister, became president because of his tough work at KGB before. Okay, next one, Yang Mingwen. Campaign. Tarnish. Okay, now, former president and still paramount leader. Paramount. 派拉蒙. Right? Is it Paramount 派拉蒙? Okay, what does that mean? Paramount. It's a movie studio. They produce movie. What is, oh, okay. Have you seen Paramount? Usually it's what? Like a mountain, right? But mount is a mountain. But what is a paramount? Okay, the most powerful or the highest, the highest, right? Most powerful. Paramount leader. Now, question here. Putin is the prime minister. He's no longer the president, but he's the most powerful people. So in Russia, it's not Medvedev. So that's why we call him paramount leader. Now, this title was also given to a guy in China, never being the, like prime minister or president or chairman, always vice chairman, vice president, vice prime minister. But he's the paramount leader of China. Who? 从来没当过正的，都是副的，副总理、副主席。That little short guy from Sichuan province. The little bottle. Do you know this guy? Oh, recently there's a picture sent to me. Have you seen this? 你们有没有看那个4个小孩子的照片 ？First one is 周杰伦，他儿子可能的样子好像。And then the second one, I think is 周迅，那个 Chinese movie actress. The third one, that baby, the way he sit there, the look is very much like Xiaoping, 邓小平。Okay, 邓小平 always being called paramount leader. Okay, talking about Deng Xiaoping, Deng Xiaoping was an overseas student from China to where? 有没有人知道 Anyone? To Taiwan? No. That would be 100 years later. But before, where did he study? France. So we have to assume his French is better than his English, right? So when in 1978, when United States established diplomatic relations with China, he visited the United States. So before his visit, he worried about his English, not as good as you here, right? So he checked with his translator, his English teacher, say, what shall I say? He said, well, basically we ask you, your name probably, So he said, so he went to the United States. As he entered the custom, some people asked him, where are you going? He said, oh, must be asking for my name. So he said, Washington. They said, oh, Washington. Okay, fine. What are you going to do there? He said, must be asking my name now. Oh, shopping? Oh, okay, shopping, that's fine. Okay, so you have to use Sichuan dialect. Okay, 要用四川话讲，我姓邓，名字呢小平，okay, so you don't think it's real? Okay, I don't know. But next time, remember, you cannot use Mandarin to say this. You have to use Sichuan dialect. 你不能说我姓邓，too far away from Washington, right? You have to say 我姓邓，小平。Okay, so that's him. Okay, paramount leader. Now, for a while, I think who can be the paramount leader of Taiwan? I think still, if some people probably can say Li Denghui right now. But, he's a little bit too old. But a few years ago, I think people would still say, even though he stepped down already, but maybe he's still the paramount. So paramount leader, that's Putin, because Medvedev is considered to be a puppet of him, all right? So that's, okay, let's come back after the break. Kind of like cracking down, okay, Muslim insurgency in southern Russia, preventing major terrorist attack in the countries. Population center. Now, question here, Ms. Yang, what is Taiwan's population center? Taipei. And where else? 101. December 31st, right? 12 o'clock. So that would be a good place to plant a bomb, huh? Don't you think? 101跨夜放一个炸弹。Wow.
The right time.
It's the right time. You have the most people. Remember that day, Taipei has about 2 million people using the subway on December 31st. Okay, so not I want you to be a terrorist, but if you want to be a successful one, okay, please pick the right day. Okay, so population center. You said, hey, I'm going to put a bomb in Lanyu. I don't think it's going to, make a difference. Okay, if the bombing of Monday, Herald. What do you mean by Herald? There's a newspaper called International Herald Tribune, IHR, TIHT. What is Herald? Almost like usher in. What is usher? Do you know usher? You go to the movie theater, the one. We still have those people with a flashlight, right? Usher. Or you go to a wedding, people seat you. Find your seat, saying, hey, you're there. Usher. What is usher? 导引。OK， 但是我们应该是叫什么？带位的。OK， 带领导引。OK， so usher in means leading in. Herald is 先锋, right? So they are heralding means as a verb, it's almost like representing something new. What? Whether you have a renewed campaign by insurging in major city. If that's the case, or just we call isolated incident. You understand what is an isolated incident? 个别事件. Okay, for example, we have people in 101. Remember, girl, you have to be careful. There are people using your innocence to steal diamonds. Remember that case? 韩国、印度的好像是，还是韩国、印度？韩国。Okay, so that's an isolated incident, or it's being advertised in their network. Taiwan's girl, so innocent. Go, let's go to Taiwan and use them to help us steal diamonds, right? That will not be, that will be a insurgency of diamond stealing in Taipei. Okay, but that I think that's an isolated incident.
No, it's connected.
No, I mean it's connected, Taipei and elsewhere, right?
And in Japan.
In Japan, okay. So, if that's the case, it means happen not just in Taiwan, or not just in Moscow, in other city. Putin's reputation will be tarnished. What do you mean by tarnished? We have a politician in Taiwan right now. He was considered to be the founder of the DPP. He defended, the dissidents in Meilidao. Now people say, oh, he's an informant. Frank, our good friend Frank, Frank Xie Changting. Now, if the allegation is real, then his reputation is tarnished. Okay? That's why we use the tarnished. 中文怎么讲你？编污啦。Okay. So we have a lot of, the legacy being tarnished. Whose legacy also being tarnished? Okay, I'll give you a few examples. Some of them you might have heard. Mitterrand, François Mitterrand, 密特朗总统 France, long time ago, I know. But he died, he served as president from 81 to 1995. I think you were born in 1995, right? Okay, so at least when you were a little kid, he was still French president. And he was famous because he was part of the French resistance force during World War II. Okay? But then people found out, ooh, maybe he had cooperated with the Nazi. So that's, legacy being tarnished. The same thing with another nationalist called Ferdinand Marcos of the Philippines. Oh, people said, he was fighting the Japanese, or, he was a nationalist. And then there was some reports saying, no, he was a collaborator. Collaborator 中文叫什么？合作者，通敌者。I'm sorry. Collaborator is called 通敌者, right? So that your legacy will be tarnished. Okay? So tarnished means compromised, means being hurt. Okay? So you don't want your legacy to be tarnished, especially if you're a big man. And sometimes this, important people, we found out that they look like a statue made of gold, right? But you find out they have feet of clay. This is also a description from Bible about a giant. The upper half of the body made of gold and silver, and then you have the feet of clay, 泥巴做的脚，噗一敲 tumbling down. Okay, so that's also, you think some people have some weakness, some people have something in the closet just cannot come out. Okay. Now my question is, what's this guy recently coming out of the closet? As best as in singing. 那个叫什么 Martin? Huh? Ricky Martin? Okay, now is his reputation going to be tarnished because he's a gay? No? Everyone knows. Okay, so no problem. Okay. Just bring a sigh of relief saying, oh, finally you're coming out, right? Like Elton John and others. So that's legacy. Okay, next one. Yang Jiaxin. Yeah. Liberalizing. Insurgency. What is a protege? Protege. Protege is someone being groomed by a leader, then later will be succeeding this leader, and not just in position, but also in maybe political philosophy as well, in the way he sees things. 什么？追随者有没有更好的翻译 ？Protege 不是幕僚 Protege means, for example, I think Ma Ying-jeou always said, he's a protege of Jiang Jingguo, but which is not true. Not good one. Okay, Chiang Kai-shek claimed to be the protege of Sun Yat-sen, but I'm not sure that's the case. I think Sun Yat-sen may be favoring Wu Hanming or someone else, right? But what would be someone like directly brought up by this person and help him and further his political career? 接班人，对啊，但是要又是政治上，又是思想上都是 protege。 Ooh. What is a protege? Protege 接班人 but grown up by this. Okay, some people will say this. Maybe, okay, let's say in China, Hu Jintao's protege will be who? Li Keqiang. But I'm sorry, Li Keqiang didn't make it to number 1, right? It's Xi Jinping. So, but Hu Jintao probably we call groom Li Keqiang, but find out Li Keqiang, maybe people say, well, he is more suitable to be prime minister in the future, not the president. But that's his protege. Okay, follow him for a long time, and maybe we'll do the same thing. So protege is a follower. So Medvedev will follow Putin's line. So he make him what? President. First prime minister, then they switch job. Because you have term limit. So Putin just say, oh, you know, my 2 terms is up. Why don't I serve as prime minister, and then I will come back. But found out, hey, this protege has his own view of dealing with terrorism, liberalizing the government, not using a heavy-handed approach, increasing political pluralism. What does that mean, Ms. Yang? What does that mean? Political pluralism. What does that mean? Okay, it means you accept different voices. Okay, people of different mindset, different ideas, different background, different ethnic groups. You accept all those. It's more inclusive, we call. 包容性比较强. That's what we call political pluralism. And in dealing with terrorism, okay, saying, hey, we need to address the root cause of terrorism. What is it? Or insurgency. Usually, few things. Poverty. Always poverty. Poverty is the best friend of terrorists, right? If people have nothing to eat, you say, why don't you join us? We will feed you. And what happens if you die? Your whole family will be taken care of. That's not bad, right? If you have a very, coming from a very poor situation. Or you have grievance against the government, your relative being killed, the discrimination, those. So that's what we call the root causes of insurgency. Why people rebel. Okay, there is a book called Why Men Rebel. 人为什么反叛, right? So you have to deal with the root causes. There are people who are not pleased with the society. So, but that's not the approach favored by Putin. 陈瑶清有在吗？念对了吗？等一下，姚韶啊，云哦，对不起，差很远。OK， OK， 你是2点。OK， 不是1点，对不对？这边，所以 OK， 云啊，这个平均那个 OK。哇。Continue. Bayev. In Oslo. Where is Oslo? Oh, so slow. Where is Oslo? A capital of Norway. You know that country, Norway? Norway 也不是道路。Okay? Do you know this country? 也不是道路。Okay, Norway, right? Okay, but anyway, this is the Russian scholar said, hey, Putin will be able to say to Medvedev, saying, "Hey, I accomplished this and you didn't." Okay, but looking back, he say he has not put place many major changes. Okay, but already Putin, allowed him to do that. Now, interesting question: who is the president? Putin, yeah, right now, Putin or Medvedev? Medvedev. Okay, now, if you look at the security issues, which one should be in charge?
The president, according to the constitution of Russia.
Well, especially, in this kind of international type, national security, yes, should be the president. So Putin didn't interfere with Medvedev right now, but if you have more terrorism, he said, hey, step aside. Maybe our country needed a tough guy. Okay, if you look at, Medvedev, very much like our president, is not going to be tough enough, right? It's like the Thai prime minister. Have you seen the picture of the Thailand prime minister? Good looking guy, but not very tough. So I don't think he can deal with the Russia's army. 同样好像有个那个形象是 tough guy. You have to have that look of a tough guy. So anyway, this is he might push him aside, shove him. Now this is the word we love to use in where? What kind of sports we love to say people shove? Push and shove. Basketball. Okay, shoving people, getting into the position, 推挤啊。棒球有在推挤吗？好像没有。OK， 只有冲撞，最后冲本垒的时候。篮球basketball I can tell you. When I play basketball as a graduate student, we really enjoy basketball a lot. So we play from summer until winter, from winter until summer. We just love to play basketball, right? That's the only thing we do. But Americans are very much responding to the season of the sports. Like in January, they're playing basketball. In February. And then March, the outside weather is getting better. They begin to throw some baseball. Then, in the fall, they play football. But we just stick to our basketball. And we play a lot. And then the American college female students also play basketball. They look at the Asians. They say, oh, these are pretty skinny. We can play with them. Right? So we played the American girls team. And then we found out. And we said, well, we cannot touch it. We have to be polite, right? But when they push you, when they shove you, when they try to get their position, getting a rebound, they're real. Okay, they just shove you aside. Okay, so that's what we call the basketball push and shove. Okay, they shove you around. Okay, push you aside. And this is, I think, the difference in teaching basketball in Taiwan and in the United States. How do you learn basketball? Say, oh, dribbling, and then taking shots, right? In America, it's always setting up screens, blocking out. 都是在帮人家做挡人，然后在 blocking out 是什么？也是就是把人家挡出去抓篮板，中文叫什么？抢篮板不是，就是你要卡位。OK, thank you. OK, 卡位抢篮板。OK, so that's how they teach. OK, they don't teach you a lot of shooting. That's your own business. They teach you how to run and then try to set up screen. How to run a screen yourself. Oh, crazy. Okay, next one. Sabrina. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hello. 我可不可以？对，我可不可以等一下？我上课会等一下回你电话。大概5点10分啊。OK. 拜。OK. Okay, continue. Chechnya. Okay, here, the feeling is not an isolated incident. Like in Taiwan, we always love to have something like the subway wolf, 什么捷运之狼、士林之狼。清华好像也有过狼这边，什么狼我也不记得。Okay, you know, some kind of wolf here. So is it isolated incident? You know, some people being attacked. They say it is not. Okay, so we will see more. When you face a situation, chain of attack. Okay, so there's a chain of attack, a lot. You know, chain reaction, and then undercut every attempt to soften, liberalize, open up, and increase the demand for tougher measures. Means all the conciliatory approach will be abandoned, and people will say, let's get tough. It's almost like in Taiwan, Sabrina, if we have major homicide, and then people will say, ooh, we have to be tough. Okay, there is a Chinese word in saying this. What is it? Chinese idiom. 中文的成语是什么？ We have a lot of homicide. We have to, you know, wow. We have to carry out our capital punishment. Death penalty for all those people. Hmm? 什么？哎，乱好像是 L 啊，是这个吗？啊 ，OK， 乱是用重点。So in a chaotic situation, the penalty has to be heavy. Okay, punishment has to be there. So the same thing here. Okay, you want to have soft, liberal, you know, open approach. No, you will have people will say, "Hey, tough. Let's get tough. Measure." Okay, now important word here, measure. As an adjective here, measure with a D, you know, past perfect, you became a adjective. Some people will say a measured response. What does that mean? A measured response. It does not mean you respond by measuring something first. It's almost like that, but it's more. What is a measured response? It's, for example, if someone slapped my son's face, right? What would be a measured response? Burn his house. No, that would not be. Okay, so a measured response is like appropriate response. Response, huh? Oh, response, I'm sorry. Okay, so a measured response. So something very appropriate. For example, if my student here copy another student's homework, I gave the student 0 on this homework, that probably would be a measured response. But I can also give you an F for the class. That probably would be a little bit over. Okay, so that we call measured response. Okay. Lin Yourong, 徐安丽. Let's try. Okay, let's try our guess.
He pushed through laws that eliminated the direct election of regional governors, turning them into presidential appointees, and made it all but impossible for political for independents to be elected to the federal parliament would also increase the strength of the security services.
Okay, we want to go back a little bit to that earlier paragraph. Here, Putin larger vow. Okay, what do we mean by vow? To some vow, swear you're going to get tough, you're going to do something, right? To destroy the terrorists. Tough talk, here, but they have not been identified yet at that time. But said they suspect coming from North Chechnya or other places in Caucasus Mountain. Spate, we already talked about that word. It's almost like sudden surge of violence. He sweeping reorganization of the government means you fail to do the job. That's our problem in our government. Sometimes we have a lot of failures in our security, right? But I don't see any reorganization of our government. Example, we have president's automobile. I mean, his car, his envoy, his Jeep, he was taken, just boom, the tire blow up. And that's supposed to be a big problem. You need to remove someone in this, but he never did. So reorganization of the government, Putin did that. Okay, sweeping, and then unite the country against terrorism, but also concentrating power at the same time, in Kremlin. Now, he pushed through law, eliminate direct election of regional governors. So Ms. Xu, you have to tell me, how is that going to be related to take a tough line on terrorists? Direct election of regional governors. No longer there. So what does that mean? When Putin said, no, we don't need election of the regional leaders, you can be appointed. Now, if you are elected, you worry about votes. You are responsive to what? To the people there. So you'll be more sympathetic. But now you're appointed by Putin in the center. You are responding, responsible to me only. So whatever I told you, you will do. So made it impossible for political independent to be elected. You have to be, to the federal parliament as well. And, federal parliament is still politically still elected, but independent cannot. Political independent. What do we call politically independent people? People in Taiwan will be someone like whom? Who will be politically independent? A lady called Luo Shulei. Okay, some of you might not heard of her. Okay, we call maverick. What do we mean by maverick? Oh, 达拉斯小牛队。Right? Sarah Palin is what is a maverick? 思想起义者. What does that mean, really? 特异独行者. Like your professor a little bit. Okay? A maverick. Okay, what is a maverick? Maverick is, then why do we call Dallas Maverick 小牛队? Yeah, so what? What is it? Okay, it is, when everybody have cattle, how do you know which cattle is yours? How do you tell which cattle is yours? And you say, well, this cattle is mine. You say, well, I measure his eyes, the diameter, 他的那个眼睛的半径是多少？是这样子吗？ How do you tell the difference between cattle? Yeah, put a mark, right? That is we call you put that one iron there, put that mark there. Okay, that mark usually let's say, Y, that's my yen, that's my cow, right? My cattle. And someone said, oh, Miss Xu said, well, you using H or something. But a guy said, okay, after you all finish, anyone that is unmarked, that's mine. Right? The rest is mine. If it's not marked, then it's mine. So that guy, that gentleman, his name is called Maverick. So people said, Maverick is you doing something unique, different than the rest. Okay, so political independent, also like Maverick. You do not always follow the line of your party. John McCain, by the way, the American Republican presidential candidate, now is fighting for his life. He said, he used to say, I'm a maverick. What does that mean? I'm a maverick means I do not always go along with my Republican president. Why? Bush is not very popular. Right? So you have to say, I'm politically independent. I'm a maverick. I don't go, support president all the time. That's fine. But now is facing election. And the Republican primary, 共和党初选, people are very conservative, right? So he said, no, I'm not a maverick. I'm always the party, walking the party line. And he said, let Sarah Palin, my running mate, to tell you how I support the Republican line. So right now, Sarah Palin is helping John McCain, trying to save his political life because he's being challenged. So maverick, okay, you understand? So that's political independent. Who do not listen to Moscow, you will have difficult time getting elected to the parliament. Also increase the strength of the security forces, means, hey, carry more fatal, what do we call, not fatal, lethal weapons. You like that movie, right? All those movies, Lethal Weapon 1, Lethal Weapon 2, Lethal Weapon 3, Lethal Weapon 4. 有没有看过？中文什么？致命武器，是这样子讲。Lethal Weapon。那个谁，那个 Australian actor, what was his name? No. I don't even remember now his name. Yeah, Mel Gibson. So Lethal Weapon, right? Yeah. 致命武器，这么难听，他看起来一点不致命啊。Okay. So anyway. So you adding more lethal weapons, okay? You can use. 周佳莹、曾传玲、庄希薇 ，OK.
Boris I. Mechanical, Chairman of the Center of Political Technologies, Political Research Organization. Cautioned that it was too soon to speculate whether Mr. Putin might feel the need to clamp down.
No, to clamp down.
Mr. Mechanical said he believes that Mr. Putin's reputation had not suffered badly because of the terrorist attacks early in
tenure
as president.
Okay, so chairman of this university or technology center for political. Hey, I never realized there's a political technology. 政治还是科技啊？Okay, political technology. It's like when do you want to smear your opponents? 你什么时候开始抹黑你的对手 ？Okay, that would be a technology, huh? Okay, how do you do that? A research organization caution, okay, saying, hey, too soon to speculate. What do you mean by speculate, huh, Mr. Zhuang? What is speculating? Speculate. Huh?
Speculation. It's like just to spread.
Spread?
To say.
To observe, or to say something to indicate. But speculate a lot of time being used in the stock market. Speculation in the stock market. What is that? No. Speculation in the stock market. 中文叫什么？预期啊。股票的不是在炒股票。不是，是你们中文怎么翻 ？speculate 在股市里头，就是 我在投资有冒险 ，speculate， 哎，中文应该什么？有啦，我看看，你字典那么烂吗？啊，你的有什么 speculate in the stock market？ 应该有一个中文字。
城市推测是所推想，或股票那个投机。
投机 ，OK, that's the word. Oh, okay. So, right? So speculate, that's 投机. But here, it's saying speculate. It's like I observe this is what's going to happen. Okay, or I think this is going to. Putin may feel the need to clamp down. Clamp down again is to put down the terrorist. He said earlier, in his president tenure. Okay, Mr. Trump, what is tenure? Tenure. This is the big word in our profession called tenure. Tenure. Yeah. But for professor, what is a tenure? Okay, very important. We call tenure track. You have to go into a tenure track in teaching. Means, okay, a tenure professor, T-E-N-U-R-D, means you have the secure job. You're going to be a professor for the rest of your life. No, not rest of your life. Before you're before you're 65, right? In Taiwan. Okay, so tenure professor means you already have the permanent right. 永久教书权是吧？终身教书，终身教职 that would be a tenure. Okay, you already. So in the United States, once you promoted to associate professor, you have it. But in Taiwan, it's quite strange. We don't. Even if you become full professor, you might not have tenure because you're going to be reviewed every 5 years now. But in America, they have this. But what is a tenure track? Tenure track means you enter this track, means you can be from assistant professor to associate professor. After 6 years, you're going to be reviewed and you're going to get promoted. But then there will be, we call non-tenure track. Non-tenure track is almost like every year you teach. 1 year, okay, they say we have a 2-year non-tenure track. Okay, so you teach 2 years, doesn't count. After 2 years, no guarantee for your job. Okay, tenure track, so at least 6 years as an assistant professor, and then after 6 years, if you get promoted, you have lifelong job, right? If you fail to get promotion, then you try to find another job. But at least you are on that track to become tenure professor. Okay, some people have never entered the tenure track. Okay, I have friends who have done this, who have 3 jobs. All 3 have been non-tenure track. Okay, so he waits like 6 years or 5 years in non-tenure track position. And then the more you do it, people will say, how come you're still in non-tenure track? They cannot hire you. So you don't even have the chance to become tenure track. So that's a very important. Tenure means term. Okay, early in his tenure, in his term as president, also a lot of terrorism. But Putin looked tough, so terrorism is not going to hurt him, right? You have to look tough. Okay. 谢宗浩 yeah. Makarenko.
was that the bombing in the Moscow subway demonstrates Russia's financial problems has been
agitating
the government. Protests have broken out in some major cities, and the opposition, while still relatively, has been gaining
some support. Okay, continue.
The public has become more skeptical about the government in general in recent months. due to the government's limited ability to tackle the effects of the
economic crisis.
To the inefficiency and misbehavior of the police and other issues. He said this terrorist attack might be another piece in the effect.
No, efforts. No, here is efforts.
Efforts of those who want to go after the government.
Okay, here Makarenko's noticed or note that bombing subway of Moscow came at a time when you have financial problem. Okay, already agitating is what? Causing the government very uncomfortable, uneasy. So agitating, already creating problem for the government. So the protests broke out in major cities. Opposition very weak but gaining support. Okay, so that's not difficult. Public become more skeptical. What do we mean by skeptical? Suspicious about the governments in general. I think that's everywhere. This is universal now, don't you think? Where do we find people who trust the government? I don't think in Taiwan. South Korea, I don't think so. I don't think people trust government in Thailand. Maybe one exception is called Germany. Why? Because that German chancellor called Angela Merkel, she looked like someone we can trust it. Right? Last semester I taught this class. We talked about her winning the election. How did she celebrate the victory? Having a potato soup. 大选获胜，喝洋山芋汤，有点像我们在台湾选举胜利吃什么？卤肉饭啊，或者同学通过了严老师考试，去吃一个卤肉饭啊，那表示我太容易了，是吧？应该是很难很难啊，某某杀手，然后你考过以后呢，去吃什么？你们新竹有什么大的？去吃烟波自助餐哦，怀石，烟波的怀石有没有人吃过？知不知道烟波 ？OK， 知道烟波啊 ？OK， but that's the only exception. Okay, people are not skeptical. That's in Germany. Okay, because at least Angela Merkel looked very sincere. Sarkozy of France. Berlusconi of Italy cannot be trusted. I'm sorry. So this is a big problem. Skeptical about government in general because limited ability to tackle the economic crisis, inefficiency and misbehavior of police are the issue. Might be another piece of effort want to go after. What do we mean by go after? Mr. Xie, what is go after? Some people said there's a recent scandal about a Chengkong University professor misappropriate the NSC fund, paying her nanny, right, babysitter, as put a babysitter on the payroll of her assistants. 有没有听说成大一个女教授滥用国科会的助理费？把保姆钱也算进来了，听过了 ？Okay, but some people say, oh, that's just a little fish. The big ones are the one in the science and engineering schools because they have so many equipments. So why don't we go after them? 要抓大鱼就要去工学院跟理学院买仪器的最多，还有成大的医学院挑一个软柿子。文学院外文系教授 how much can she abuse the money, right? Just babysitting money. By the way, I did that when I was in charge of the research in 政大. I have the accounting people call me saying, Chairman Yan, can you call so and so professor? I said, what's wrong? She said, oh, you know, this professor sent us receipt that is from Toys Us, which I don't think we can use. 就是有老师报那个国科会的账里头，发现玩具反斗城的收据。那我只好打电话给了老师说，王老师，你的助理好像弄错了哦，可不可以把这张发票拿回去换一张？没有来，新的从来没有再来过，就收回去了。Or we also have professor, right, hiring so-called assistant after 10 months. Never hired the assistant. You know, the money was there, and then 10 months later, said, "Oh, I'm hiring an assistant, and take all 10 months of pay in the past 10 months." We said, "Wait a second. Did you pay the assistant for the past 10 months? Probably not. Never hired the assistant, right? Suddenly, at the end, try to collect all the money and then using rental, right? So we have to change the rules. So we said, okay." You have to hire the assistant within 2 months. If you don't, if you hire the assistant on the 5th month, you can start to pay the assistant from the 5th month on. Cannot go back to the first 4 months of salary. That also helped, I think. But we try to prevent all this abuse. I made a lot of strange phone calls. Okay, people have a lot of items. But the big fish go after should be your university equipment, expensive equipment. There should be something there. Okay, so that's what we call go after. 中文怎么讲？应该去追杀，追杀晋级，追打那个。Okay, finally we have, let's say, 许同丽，有在吗？有没有？没有。刘佑。Right.
The subway system in Moscow is one of the world's most extensive and well-managed, and the bombings on Monday spread anxiety that is unlikely to dissipate for some time. For many people here, the day's events recall the tense times in the early part of the last decade when the city, including the subway, it was hit with several terrorist attacks.
Okay. So most extensive, what does that mean? Extensive.
This was built with very carefully and used a lot of money.
No, most extensive is almost like cover the whole city. Okay, cover, extensive, right? Cover the whole city. And yeah, for example, in Taiwan, people will say, hey, it's not, covering which part of Taipei subway?
I don't know.
台北的捷运有没有哪一个地方没被 cover 到的
I'm not from Taipei.
Okay. 天母 is being left out. Or 松山有吗？不是那个是那个松山那个机场那边，这边靠信义这边。Okay. Some areas. I live in a street, not being covered. I live in the middle of nowhere. Every subway station, even the one planned in the future, just happen to be, in the middle, to all the stations. Very close. Okay. So extensive is important, well managed, and then the bombing of Monday and causing anxiety, dissipate, unlikely to dissipate. What do we mean by dissipate?
Is unlikely to dissolve.
Disappear. I mean, gradually, go away, right? For some time. So people here, the events recall the 10th time in early part of the last decade when the subway city was hit with several terrorist attacks. So this is going to be very dangerous. Now, let me ask you, if you were in Moscow working, do you still dare to take the subway?
Oh yes, I will take the subway.
You will still?
Yes, because it was once attacked, the security system will be will be enforced. So
No, the police will say, the terrorists will not do here the second time.
I thought that they will not attack the same place.
Oh.
But it's a
Then the terrorists say, that's the reason we have to attack the same place. We're doing some.
Since they are present like in all over Moscow, they will be aware whether the government have been like info securities like in the subway. I don't think that is maybe like they will attack again the subway. We never
No, we don't know, right? But some people dare not. I have one former student. Her parents would not allow her to take airplane, flying from Taipei to Tainan before. This was 10 years ago. We don't have a high-speed train. So she can only take subway, train, okay? She can only take train. Now, if right now with earthquake in Taiwan, we have train also can derail as well, right? Airplane is not very safe. Look at what happened to Kaczynski in Poland. Right? So there are a lot of things not happen. So we have very good excuse to be housebound, right? 所以宅男不是我们的错。Right? So dangerous outside. Right? Subway not very safe. Train can derail. Airplane can hit the trees. In the middle of a fall. But you think you would dare, even in Moscow, you dare to take the subway?
maybe because attacking the same place sounds a little bit stupid.
No, okay. What happens if you are taking another route to work, not this one?
Oh, maybe not.
Maybe not. Then what do you do? I mean, okay, Moscow. If you try to drive, I'm sorry, it's impossible.
Why?
Oh, just traffic congestion. 就是完全是阻塞，所以只有靠 subway.
How about
Taking a bike, fine. Okay, in the below zero weather, right? In the below zero weather, you can still breathe. I think that's fine. Okay, so it will be very difficult. But this is where I think people need to adjust. Okay, and if people fear about their safety and security, and then the terrorists, probably has achieved its purpose. Okay, I'll see you next week.